Hello, this is Sami Tan of G2G8 and welcome to our third video on how to keep your immune system healthy to fight off infection. We will be talking about nutrition, which is a big subject, and I will try to simplify this subject as much as I can, as most of us are not doctors or nutritionists. Please note that the information we are presenting is not intended to cure or present therapeutic doses for treatment as we are not doctors. You will need to consult a health professional for therapeutic dosages. What we are presenting are minimums for healthy habits that people can adopt to improve their health and wellness. In G2G8, we'd like to bring a holistic solution, and when we say holistic, we mean natural, man-made, and supernatural solutions to man-made problems. I have some bad news though, as our second essential is about nutrition, and this subject will require cost and effort to achieve. There is no quick fix or magic bullet to achieving a balanced diet. I will be showing you what I'm using, so some of you may say I am biased, but I cannot comment on things that I am not using, so that is my limitation. You may disagree with me and choose a different strategy for yourself, and that is perfectly fine with me, as I'm not the expert on nutrition, but I'm just an engineer that is seeking to make sense of whatever available data I have on nutrition. What I know is that the coronavirus is here to stay, and it will not go away that quickly. Even if the quarantine is lifted, we need to keep our immune system healthy, as the worst thing that can happen to us is for us to be infected when we are busy and distracted in life. Reviewing our epidemiologic triangle, we said that we can cut off the spread of a disease by social distancing, hand sanitizing, proper sanitation, and etc. But the most important factor to consider is to increase the immune system of the host to make us more resistant to infection. So that is what we're going to cover today in our topic on nutrition. What we know about human nutrition is that 1. We do have standard on essential nutrients. When we say essential nutrient, we mean that these are nutrients that we need to get from our food every day, as our body cannot produce it. 2. Essential nutrients have recommended daily allowances. So you may notice that there are certain nutrients like glutathione, DHA, and quercetin, which does not have established minimum RDA. It is because our body can produce glutathione, DHA, and quercetin. Based on the standard, 100% RDA is the minimum required to prevent sickness and infection. When we intake 200% to 300% in our food, it is still considered normal. And there are optimum level also, as athletes will require more. There are only 5 essential micronutrients. These are water, vitamins, minerals, protein or amino acids, and fatty acids. If you notice, carbohydrate is not part of the list. It is because our body can produce the carbohydrates we need from our fats. The important nutrient that we like to pay attention to for respiratory health are vitamin C, D, zinc, and copper, magnesium, and omega-3. If I'm an agriculturist or animal scientist and knowing there are established standards, how do I approach my fortifying my animals so that they can resist infection? I need to make sure they are at least attaining 100% of their micronutrients through their diet. I can choose 2 strategies. One is to use their food as their main source of nutrient, and then to add supplement to fill up what they still needed. Or 2 is to use the supplement as their main source of nutrient and use their food to add whatever extra they needed. In order to use the first strategy, I would need to know if their food is providing them enough nutrient to reach 100% RDA. Like in the case of my children, can I assure that I'm providing the 100% RDA that their body needs in their breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Can I assure that they will eat the required amount when it is provided and eat it properly? No, I think not. Since I cannot assure that, I opted for strategy number 2. For strategy number 2 to work, I will need to know if there is a multivitamin mineral supplement that can give me 100% of the daily requirement. Fortunately, the answer is yes. But I have to note that when I talk about multivitamin mineral supplements, tablet is not part of my consideration. You might ask why. One, because all vitamins are acidic and minerals are alkaline, and in tablet form, they are a bad chemistry waiting to happen. Two, you cannot mix liquid vitamins and liquid minerals together as they will instantly react. Three, you can make them into separate pills, but when you swallow them together, the bad chemistry is again waiting to happen in your stomach. Four, the only human technology that is able to mix vitamin and mineral together is in powder form. The proof of this is you can sustain the life of a baby through infant formula. You can also sustain an elderly person through powder formula for many, many years. But you cannot do this with pills. What I found in the market and would recommend are four products. These are Glucerna, Peptamen, Nutren, and Relieve Now. The first three products are powder nutritional, and they were designed as complete food for hospital feeding. You will need to drink 4 glasses a day to get most micronutrients at 100% RDA. The last is Relieve Now, and it is a powder supplement or micronutrient in powder form. You will only need 2 scoops to get 100% RDA a day. Since I choose strategy number 2 and I am currently using Relieve Now, knowing that I can achieve 100% RDA, how much RDA should I target for to keep my immune system healthy against infection? 1 scoop of Relieve is designed for 800 kilocalorie diet, so 2 scoop would give you 1,600 kilocalorie. But most Asian men have a metabolism of about more than 1,600, and women has on average about 1,300. So the minimum for men that I should target is at least 150% or 3 scoops, and 2 scoops for women. Now looking at the table of ingredients to determine what else is lacking, as there are no perfect formula, I can see that I still lack phosphorus, magnesium, iron, potassium, vitamin D, and omega-3. The next thing I would do is create a chart or table and go into Google to search for foods that are high in those nutrients to see if there are some commonality in my list. As you can see from my list outside of vitamin C, there are many foods that are common or similar, like I see a repeat of chocolate, pork chop, avocados, salmon, seeds, nuts, beans, etc. So I am confident that I am able to achieve what is lacking through my food intake. I would like to give a little warning when dealing with grains, nuts, seeds, and beans. Many purists are promoting the eating of these products raw, but I don't encourage it as you need to roast, cook, or sprout the seeds in order to remove the phytic acid that is in them. In the case for beans, after soaking them for 4 to 8 hours overnight, you might want to blanch them in boiling water with 1 tablespoon of baking soda to remove the phytic acid altogether before you cook them. As phytic acid will prevent the absorption of zinc and other minerals, it will also block the reabsorption of this mineral in your small intestine, so you will suffer from mineral malnutrition. Also, it is not true that cooking the seed will diminish the minerals, as minerals are the most durable component in your nutrition. You can burn the food into ashes, and the ashes are still the minerals. If you should decide to go for strategy 1, you can opt to take 2 glasses of the powder nutritional and then get the rest of the 50% RDA from your regular meals. At least you're aiming only for 50% instead of 100% RDA. You might want to consider supplementing on zinc and copper, magnesium and vitamin D, omega-3, and vitamin C. Now, why zinc and copper? It has been shown in studies that zinc prevents coronaviruses from replicating their RNAs. So it is probably the single most important nutrient for fighting the current infection. 2. Zinc and copper tends to displace each other as they are like partner molecules, but they compete against each other for absorption. So prolonged intake of zinc will lead to copper deficiency. 3. Copper is important in the synthesis of red blood cells with iron. For every 5 milligrams of zinc you intake, you need to intake 1 milligram of copper. Why magnesium and vitamin D? Magnesium is involved in more than 300 enzyme reactions in our body, including the strengthening of our lung muscle. When you increase vitamin D, it will increase the concentration of calcium in our blood, and calcium will displace magnesium. So it is important to supplement on your magnesium when you are increasing your vitamin D intake. You can do this by using magnesium oil. 8 spray on your skin will give you 100 milligram of elemental magnesium. Or you can put 1/4 teaspoon of Epsom salt, which is magnesium sulfate, and dissolve it in 1 glass of water and just drink it. It will give you your daily requirement of magnesium. Why omega-3? Most of the oils and food we eat usually has more omega-6 than 3, and omega-6 will turn on our inflammatory responses. You can balance this by intaking omega-3, as omega-3 turns off our inflammatory responses. We need a ratio of 1 omega-3 for every 4 omega-6s. I find that 1 tablespoon of flaxseed oil, about 13 to 14 grams, will have 6 to 7 grams of omega-3, and it is enough to balance off the omega-6 in our diet for the day. Why vitamin C? It's the vitamin against cold and flu, and it boosts our immune system. It is a co-activator with zinc and vitamin D, so they work together in tandem. The documented cases you can find in the internet against pneumonia uses 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Doctors today are giving as much as 12,000 milligrams to 24,000 milligrams through IV. I have a friend that goes for this 3 times a week, and she's receiving as much as 60,000 milligrams per week. Vitamin C will not displace other minerals in our body. Personally, I don't use so much vitamin C because I go for balance. Because I go for balance, I don't need to magnify one nutrient over the other. Because for me, every essential nutrient is important. Individually, they serve many functions on their own, and many more together with other nutrients. So I do not want to emphasize on one and neglect the other. The issue for me is balance, to close the door to weakness as we are as strong as our weakest link. Our weak point is a point of attack or breakdown in our body. I'm also not a doctor or nutritionist and don't plan on becoming one. That is why I will go for the balance. Besides, there is more to life than food and nutrition. I don't do this out of fear, as I believe if it's my time, then it's my time. But I just want to apply common sense. What can I do to close the door to diseases or attacks from outside? As I used to be sickly and have been wondering why I have so much recurrence of my sickness. Where did I fall short in my nutrition? I found out that it was because of my indulgence. I eat only the food that I like to eat and don't eat the ones that I don't like. I would set aside the bell pepper, the onion, the garlic, the ginger, etc. For me, they are just garnishing and would refuse to eat them. That was the result of my weakness and allergies. The problem is our first generation indulgent have become parents and now cooks for the second generation indulgent who are more picky with their food. So it's like cooking and not putting in the bell pepper, the onion, etc. And then your children will only eat the chicken skin. We need to relearn our food and eating habits and learn to cook everything that is available and eat everything that is in our plate. I now eat everything in my plate, including the ginger, the peppercorn, even the papaya seeds. We need to learn to add more endemic materials to our food. When I went to Ilocos and tried their fresh salad, it looks like I was eating the forest floor. It tastes good with their bagoong though. Then I went to Vietnam and found out they put leaves in everything they eat, and it was very tough chewing on mango leaves. But why does our fresh salad needs to be lettuce all the time? We need to learn to use more endemic materials for our food, and we need to relearn our eating habits by eating more slowly and drinking less fluid as we eat. Allow me to describe my typical day using the second strategy, my simple diet plan to keeping my immune system healthy. I will take my Relieve Now 1 1/2 scoop 2 times a day. I put 1 tablespoon of flaxseed oil and add a few teaspoons of cocoa powder on my coffee. I remember to apply magnesium oil 2 times a day. Then I try to get as much sun as I can or supplement with vitamin D. I go to the market and grocery once a week and look for seeds and nuts to add to my snacks. And I make sure to eat slowly and eat everything that is on my plate. My life is not complicated, as nutrition does not need to be complicated. Whatever strategy you choose, for as long as you are adding a good habit to your regimen, it will go a long way to improving your immune system. We have discussed 2 habits that you can apply. In our next video, we will discuss about hydration and some of the habits you can add to your hydration that will also help improve your immunity to infection. Thank you very much for watching and have a good to great day.